Hey, welcome back to the 10 Weather Impact Show. I'm meteorologist Lily Aldrich, and we've had quite the busy week this week, but the National Weather Service has already started to issue their preliminary surveys. So let's recap what we know as of today. As of right now, to Tuesday, August 11th, when we had all of those severe storms move into the area, we did actually have a confirmed tornado in South Columbus in a couple different streets. I'll give you a view of that in a second, but I did want to also update you. Straight line winds were found to be the cause of some of the damage up in upper Arlington, around winds of 90 to 100 miles per hour. That's close to an EF0 tornado, or also close to hurricane level winds that you would normally see closer to the south. So for the most part, this is what we're looking at for that EF1 tornado. We're still waiting on the wind and the exact pathway, but this is a graphic we created just to kind of give you a general estimate of what we're seeing right now of the estimated track. It mainly went through two different areas, close to Parsons Avenue all the way down to Fairwood Avenue, and it's just a preliminary survey. So it's something we're keeping an eye on, especially as they continue to survey multiple areas across the rest of Ohio. For your forecast, though, here's what you need to expect. We do have a 10 weather impact alert for tomorrow morning. It's going to be more of a dry, cloudy start to the remainder of your day. Getting in late this evening, we do have a chance of seeing some storm activity start to move in. Right now, 82 degrees, lots of clouds out there, but your radar is looking nice and quiet. You might have some scattered activity and isolated showers late this evening, but for the next few hours, nice and dry. Lots of clouds build back in by the time we get late this evening. You'll have a dry afternoon as well, but by the time we get into 8 o'clock, that's when those shower chances start to increase, as well as getting into your overnight hours. What you should expect tonight, 60s, we'll have those isolated showers, but we do have that 10 weather impact alert for you for tomorrow morning. It's going to be a stormy morning and start off pretty wet out there as you get into your morning commute. Later in the afternoon, you start to dry out and sunshine returns back into your Friday, which is good, especially after all that rain we've seen. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. Thursday until the 6 o'clock this afternoon, you're mainly dry, and then you start to see those shower chances build back in. This is around 10 p.m. tonight, so late into your evening hours. And you'll have that rain continue overnight into tomorrow morning. This is around 1:30. So you might hear some rumbles of thunder, especially if you have any sensitive groups in your housing, so such as animals or family members who might get sensitive to some rumbles of thunder or lightning. Be cautious, because that's what we're looking at for overnight tonight. That mainly continues into your early morning hours. That's 6 o'clock tomorrow, so this might affect your morning commute, especially with your drives being a little bit more wet. By the time we get into Friday afternoon, isolated showers continue, but you're mainly going to be dry. Not everybody will see all that activity tomorrow, definitely during the day. Saturday, you're looking mainly dry as well, continuing into the rest of the evening. Looks like a good Saturday day to get outside. By the time we get into Sunday, we do have shower activity returning back in your forecast. Again, more of morning showers. This is 5 of you right around 5 a.m. on Sunday morning, rather. That will continue to push through the area. By the time around 10, 11 o'clock, that kind of gets out of here, leaving you with a remainder of more of a drier Sunday. That 10 weather impact alert is for the showers coming in Friday morning. We are keeping an eye mainly on flooding chances, especially with all the rain we've seen over the last few days. That's what our main concern is. So you definitely want to stay weather aware with us. Your excessive rainfall outlook is essentially saying the chances of us seeing flash flooding within the next few days. And it does continue further upwards compared into Friday morning. So that's definitely the biggest risk we're keeping an eye on for you. Rain chances over the next few days as well. Rain chances continue Friday, a nice dry Saturday. And then we do have that chance of morning showers on Sunday. That'll continue into Monday as well, but looking ahead towards the remainder of the week, looking a little bit better. Flood watch is in place until Friday evening. This morning was just Friday morning, but they've extended it for our southeastern counties specifically. Here's your 7-day forecast. 85 degrees today. We'll stay in the mid to low 80s pretty much all week this week, and we will be humid. It's going to feel a little muggy out there. Late night showers tonight, and those will build into Friday morning, affecting your morning commute tomorrow and the chance of seeing some more flooding. Not as severe as what we've seen this past week, but it's still something to keep note on. Saturday, looking mostly dry, 85 degrees. Sunday, a little bit more warm, a little bit more humid, but we do have a chance of seeing some early morning showers build back in your forecast on Sunday. Well, while this afternoon is mainly quiet and sunny, the recovery continues for thousands around central Ohio, and many are still doing that cleanup without power. Right now, AEP Ohio is reporting just under 25,000 customers still without power this afternoon in Franklin County. That number thankfully has been going down significantly, and at one point 130,000 customers were without power. According to AEP Ohio's outage map, power should be back on for customers around tomorrow afternoon, but AEP tells us people may start to get power back before then. If you do have a generator to power your home right now, please make sure you're using it safely. First and foremost, avoid overloading the generator. Also, make sure it's outside your home and stays dry, such as using it under a tarp. Do not keep it in your garage. That's eventually to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Also, keep your generators away from windows and vents. The Ohio Emergency Management Agency says you also should unplug appliances and electronics that were running when the power went out. If you do experience any surges while crews work to restore power, it could damage those appliances. And if your home has been damaged in this week's storms, Ohio Attorney General Andy Wilson says be cautious when you're choosing a professional to help you make repairs. He says it's a very vulnerable time for those impacted, and some could be trying to take advantage of that. The Better Business Bureau says slow does not equal shady. Contractors are swamped right now, so now it's normal that you would have to wait for an estimate. If they do not want to give you an estimate, that should raise red flags. Also, don't feel pressured to hire the first contractor you find. Get multiple estimates and always check a company's history. And if someone just approaches you offering help, make sure they're legit. Grove City is helping protect you from scammers. The city posted a reminder on Facebook that it has a list of registered contractors already available. And you can find this link to this on 10tv.com/featured links. Because of these storms, students in Upper Arlington get to experience summer just a little bit longer. Students were supposed to go back yesterday, but because of all the storm damage, the district is delaying the start of the new school year until Monday. You can just see how bad these storms hit the city Tuesday. In this video, the city shared that National Weather Service looked at areas near the high school and talked to neighbors about what they saw and heard. The National Weather Service has ruled out this damage to be straight line winds, right around 90 to 100 miles per hour. As for school, next week, here's the new plan. 1st through 6th graders and 9th graders will start Monday, and then all other students, 1st through 12th grade, will be in school on Tuesday. Kindergartners will also go through orientation both days. And early Burbank early childhood schools will start as scheduled this upcoming Monday. New today, we're learning more just about how massive the response was to Tuesday's severe storms. Columbus Fire said a team experienced a historic demand for services. The division said for the first time, every available CFD unit was committed to an emergency run at the same time. Crews received more than 1,000 calls, with 131 of those coming all at once at the height of Tuesday's storm. Columbus Fire also evaluated or marked more than 100 buildings and received 217 reports of downed wires. Also this afternoon, the American Red Cross continues to help people across our state. Shelters are set up in a number of locations, including on the south side of Columbus. You can see in this video just how badly a treatment center in South Columbus was hit by this past Tuesday's storms.
It was like a whirlwind of glass. The glass was the sound that I remember the most, and like the wind whipping through.
TV News reporter Amy Steigerwald is reporting for us in South Columbus at the Scioto Southland Community Center with more details on these shelters.
Many Southside residents are still without power and cleaning up the damage from Tuesday's storm.
Everybody's been impacted by these storms, but the impact on the south side, in particular for our neighbors there, nothing short of devastating.
The American Red Cross has set up shelters across the state, including in Franklin and Perry County. Many residents in Perry County are still in shock at the massive amount of water that filled their homes on Tuesday.
It's bad. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's devastating, it's heartbreaking, and it's bad.
Governor Mike DeWine visiting various communities to survey the damage and see what additional help may be needed.
These are resilient communities, these are resilient counties, and they will come back, as they always have come back. Our job is to try to help them figure out how to do that and to provide the assistance that we can.
Thanks for that report, Amy. She's continuing to follow the stories of recovery from these shelters, and she also filed this report for us earlier today.
Deanna Hunt and her 7 children are just a few of the dozens of people without a home after Tuesday's storm. Her house off Parsons Avenue was split in half in a matter of seconds.
My boyfriend jumped on top of me, told me to go downstairs in the basement, a loud crack, and all the kids started screaming. And by the time we got to the basement, everything was done. It was quiet.
You can see many of the homes and businesses here off of Parsons Avenue and in the adjacent side streets are completely unlivable. That roof here being completely ripped off, and the back end of that building is almost gone. I spoke with people who were here when the storm broke out on Tuesday, and they say it really came without warning.
My one son has cuts, bruises, and a log went flying through the bedroom window, cracked him in the head. My daughter's bedroom is almost in our kitchen. Everything's caving in.
The American Red Cross is operating a temporary shelter at the Scioto Southland Community Center. Hunt and her family are staying there, trying to keep things as normal as possible until they can figure out a plan.
They said they're opened up a case to do assessments, and what sucks is I just got all the kids' school supplies together, and it's all gone.
Reporting in South Columbus, Amy Steigerwald, 10 TV News.
After the storms, one of the biggest questions people here are asking why they never heard tornado sirens. We know that Tuesday's storm saw wind gusts topping around 80 miles per hour, leaving behind damage that looks and felt like a tornado. Yet all 200 tornado sirens across Franklin County remained silent as the storm tore through. Emergency officials and the National Weather Service are defending that decision. 10 TV Kevin Landers shows us why those sirens were never activated and what emergency management says every family needs to know.
One of the biggest unanswered questions from Tuesday's powerful windstorm was why the tornado sirens in Franklin County were silenced.
Sounded like we were in a tornado.
But we didn't have no tornado alarms go off.
You didn't hear a single siren?
Nothing.
You upset about that?
Yeah.
The storm produced wind gusts in excess of 80 miles per hour.
Yeah, it shook the building.
Tuesday's winds were strong enough to be considered a tornado or a derecho or straight line winds.
I was just praying for my life because I didn't know what could happen, you know.
What didn't happen was the activation of nearly 200 sirens in Franklin County.
We only activate our tornado sirens when the National Weather Service, Wilmington, issues a tornado warning. So in this case, they did not get any indication on the Doppler radar that they had rotation.
10 TV meteorologist Aaron White says the lack of rotation in the sky and the short bursts of wind could mean a derecho or straight line winds, both capable of doing serious damage.
When we talk about an 82 mile per hour wind gust, that is actually comparable to about an EF0 tornado.
As cleanup from the storm damage continues, the Franklin County Emergency Management Agency says this storm is a good reminder for people to pay attention to severe thunderstorm warnings.
We need to continue to spread the message that, severe thunderstorm warnings and straight line winds can carry the same punch.
After hearing that last story and seeing the damage this week, you may also be wondering what the difference between a tornado and a straight line wind is. Our meteorologist Aaron White has that story.
It has been a busy couple of days here across Columbus and in central Ohio as we've been tracking numerous rounds of thunderstorms and some of them producing severe weather, including Tuesday morning when we had that line of thunderstorms roll across the city and produce extensive damage. We are in the Old Town East neighborhood where you can see behind me a business where the roof has been completely blown off the structure and also a lot of scattered debris landing on some of the cars parked next to that business. Now, this is some of the damage, including all the trees that were knocked down, that the National Weather Service will be looking at to assess whether or not there was straight line wind or was there a tornado. Now, one thing we're also looking at is some drone video from the Berliner Park area where you can see all those power lines, those power poles basically tilted over in the same direction. And that's one thing that would indicate likely some straight line winds, but is there also some rotational component? Is the debris a bit scattered like there was maybe a circulation and possibly a tornado? So that's something the National Weather Service will be looking at here in the coming days, the damage itself. Also looking back at the radar, looking at the velocity picture to determine if there was a circulation, in addition to all the photos and videos taken during Tuesday's morning storms. Reporting for 10 TV, I'm meteorologist Aaron White.
And we're still waiting on that update from the National Weather Service that should hopefully come in the following days. While people in Columbus are cleaning up bricks and trees, many residents in Perry and Muskingum counties are left without a home to return to. An estimated 380 people were displaced by the intense flooding in places like Roseville and Crooksville. 10 TV's Catherine Simon was at the Perry County Fairgrounds, where an emergency shelter has been set up, and she has that story.
The whole town at one point was pretty much underwater.
Cassidy Adams and her family are dealing with the aftermath of Tuesday's devastating floods.
It's bad. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's devastating, it's heartbreaking, and it's bad.
She says she's lived through several floods over the years, but she believes this was the worst.
I had to literally hand my daughter out the bedroom window. My boyfriend had to bust the screen out the bedroom window because it was coming up to our bedroom window. And I had to hand her out to my neighbor.
Now she's getting some relief as the American Red Cross steps in to help, setting up a shelter at the Perry County Fairgrounds.
They lost everything. A lot of people lost everything. So, but going with that, they're, a little more upbeat than you would think. And the community has supported them so much with so many things. It's been kind of inspiring.
Governor Mike DeWine stopping at the shelter as he visited areas impacted by the severe weather.
It gives me a better understanding to see what has happened and to get a better feel for it. So in the weeks or months ahead, I can have firsthand information, firsthand knowledge.
As communities now work through their next steps.
We were prepared, kind of for the severe weather, but we didn't expect it to get this bad.
If you're looking to help out people living in Perry and Muskingum counties, you're not the only one. Right now, support is coming in from all around Central Ohio. People living in Perry tell us they're banding together to get through recovery.
So I knew that there was going to be lots of people without right now. So just to know we have and what we can bring, we're going to bring. That's one thing about being a part of a small community is when something like this happens, you show up and you show out.
The Perry County Emergency Management Agency says they want everybody to bring their donations to the Perry County Health Department. They're accepting donations including non-perishable food, cleaning supplies, and toiletries. You can drop off donations Monday through Friday between 7:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. And of course, as we continue to follow the aftermath of this week's storms, stay with 10 TV and our 10 Weather Impact team for full coverage on Central Ohio's storm recovery and cleanup. Just download that free 10 TV app in your app store or visit 10tv.com. Finally today, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. First up, the U.S. National Science Foundation National Solar Observatory announced a groundbreaking discovery in the field of solar physics that could fundamentally change how we understand the physical mechanisms driving solar activity and its impacts on life on Earth. A team of international researchers has discovered Kelvin Helmholtz instability in the form of small, swirling, whirlpool-like patterns on the surface of the sun. The research published in the journal Nature is based on data collected with the world's largest solar telescope based over in Hawaii. The time-lapse video and images released reveal a solar landscape unlike any that had ever been seen before, uncovering small-scale and dynamic swirls everywhere at the edges of magnetic areas as another plus. Hey, it just looks really cool over there. And finally, today, with one more solar story, on Wednesday, northern Spain was in the path for a totality for a peak solar eclipse experience. In Spain, they have not experienced a total solar eclipse since 1905. Most major cities in Europe will see at least 90% totality, including Madrid, London, and Paris. Let's take one final look back at our forecast here in Central Ohio. We do have a 10 weather impact alert in place for you for tomorrow morning. Those storms will continue overnight and build up into your morning tomorrow. So we want to keep an eye out mainly for flooding issues, as well as the possibility of some of them becoming quite strong. By the time we get into Friday afternoon, once that main line of storms moves out of the area tomorrow morning, you're looking mainly dry for the rest of your Friday. That continues into Saturday with highs in the mid-80s pretty much all week this week. We'll warm up a little bit on Sunday, and we have rain chances Sunday morning as well. But looking ahead towards the beginning of next week, possibly seeing some more dry weather on the way. That's it for your weather update here on 10 TV. Coming up later tonight, Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer is in. But until then, you can catch more news and weather online at 10tv.com. Have a great afternoon.